What's up? It's Keith. In this video, I want to talk about something that I don't think I've heard anybody ever talk about before. And it's a specific moral dilemma that you go through in your small business when you're growing it. You've heard me say before, expand the top as you dissolve the bottom. I got that from Coach Rob from EgoEdge.com. He's one of my best friends. Guy's awesome. But it makes sense. He says, dissolve the bottom as you expand the top. In theory, that makes sense. Oh, so you mean the more I grow my business and the more money I make and the more I raise the prices and the more confident I get, is the more I can begin to naturally dissolve the bottom and get rid of the stuff that I hate doing or is so low price, or raise the price on it until it falls off, and then you can, gravitate upward. Very cool. Well, it's so easy in theory, but in reality, that's really freaking stressful, because you're riding this line of, okay, it's logical, it's logistical, there's numbers, there's faith involved, there's taking a chance, there's pushing forward despite your fears, maybe these low-paying customers you've got a good relationship with. And here's a moral dilemma that I went through the second year in business. So all winter long, I was out cleaning windows pretty much by myself to keep money coming in, aside from plowing snow here in Michigan. But when the spring broke, all of a sudden everybody wanted their windows cleaned. We were doing homes, and also we do landscaping too, so we were swamped up to our eyeballs. And I found myself calling up my window cleaning customers of all my storefronts and plazas, like a big plaza with 20 shops, from a grocery store to an animal place that sell like dog food and cat food and dog kennels, to cell phone stores, sub shops, an Arabic food restaurant, chiropractor, like on and on and on, an ice cream shop. Like I was doing all of them, and I would go in there and bang out, make like $180 or something just in that one plaza. Well, I had to start raising the prices because I found myself trying to scramble and go there at 8 o'clock at night, and when they were closing to do the windows, and then I couldn't do them all, and then I was going on Saturday, and then I was trying to do it on Sunday, but then the mom and pop shops weren't closed on Sunday, and I'm pulling my hair out, and I had the prices so low that as I raised them, I was losing them, and then I was bringing guys with me to help me do it, and they couldn't do it as fast as I could, and then I was giving all my profit to them. It was so stressful. Here's the moral dilemma. I didn't know, because I was so new in the business, if this big surge of work coming in, the big wave of spring work, would keep up. So I had to tell white lies to my window cleaning customers. Man, I promise I'll be there Saturday. When I really didn't know if I could actually make it Saturday. The schedule said I could, but I know that already Tuesday pushed over into Wednesday, and this because of just all the things that happen in business that take longer than expected. Stuff breaks down, the truck breaks down, then this happens. So much stuff is jumping on your plate at once that now Saturday rolls around, you're still doing what you were trying to do Thursday, and now and then what do? You work more hours. Now you're working till 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. It's leaking over into your personal life. And then Saturday rolls around and you're so busy, you don't even got time to call all these customers. Say, I'm sorry, I know I told you I was going to be here Saturday, but now I can't be here till Sunday. If you close on Sunday, I can't be there till Monday, but we're booked Monday. And all this shit was squeezing through the cracks and falling over on the sides, but the prices were so low, and you're so busy as a small business owner that you don't have time to now hire people and bring them in. And then if you do hire people out of desperation, and then you're sending them do the work and they don't know what they're doing because you didn't take the time or set up a training system to train them, and now they're doing a shitty job and leaving streaks on the windows, or if they're laying mulch, they're not properly cleaning up, and now it's turning into this big gigantic mess. And you're like, whoa, like it's extremely stressful. And now you're pissing off your clients. So I spent my first couple of years building an entire business off of low prices. You talk about expand the top as you dissolve the bottom. Very stressful. I had to let go of 90% of all of the strip malls and plazas that I had. And I was dominating in my city, at least from like, I could say a 5-mile radius, but pretty much a 3-mile radius. Dude, I had everything. I was the dude. And that's nothing to brag about. It was just because I was really persistent and I needed money. But I had to let all of them go. And I didn't let them go nicely. This is the moral dilemma. Let me know in the comments if you go through this, or if you've gone through this, or you will go through this. I let them go one at a time by telling them I was going to be there and then not showing up and not having, and then when I would call them again to be like, dude, I'm sorry I can't make it. I knew I'm on an $800 job right now. I had to tell them that I'm on an $800 job right now. I'm not going to leave my freaking $800 job to come clean your windows for $8. I'm not going to leave my $1,200 job right now that just popped up out of the blue, right? That the neighbor wanted it done, because now we're jumping on it and I'm making double time and I'm making all this money. I'm not going to leave to come clean your windows for $22. Just not going to do it. That's business. I learned this stuff from Coach Rob, egoedge.com. Not that, but business is a first stage exchange. There's first stage, second, and third stage consciousness. Business is about obviously serving your customers and telling the truth and being diligent. And dude, it's all about that. That's for sure. But it's also about feeding your family and putting money in your pocket. So come on, tell me if you haven't done this. If a real high dollar job comes in, or a neighbor comes out, hey, can you do mine too? You're like, it's going to be this much. Okay, do it. You got the cash? I mean, did you make extra $300-400? You're doing that, and you will call another customer back and push their job back to get that money now. That's just the way it works. I've made the most money I've ever made in my small business by walk-ups and just doing the stuff that was right there, the low-hanging ripe fruit, and that's how you make money. And then you work overtime, you hustle, you bust your ass, you drip and sweat, and you get it all done. You still make your customers happy. Well, in the case of the window cleaning jobs, I had built the business on the window cleaning side of such low prices that I literally couldn't even afford to do it anymore. And I didn't know that the wave of work that was coming in would continue. I thought it was going to fall off, because you don't know. You haven't done it enough. You haven't been through enough cycles and seasons to realize, what's actually happening here. So I kept telling the customers I was going to be there, that I wasn't showing up. Then I would show up. I'd show up like 2 weeks late. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I'm here now and I'm cleaning the windows now. Okay, just clean the windows, but I need you here every 2 weeks, Keith. You said you're going to be here every 2 weeks. I know, and I promise I'll be here in 2 weeks. And I started going from the window cleaning guy who was always on time, who took his time and was very interactive and very excited and professional and enthusiastic to get that $12 every time, or 15 or $20, or even $60. But mostly it was like $12. I went from the guy who was in a rush, who was frantic, who was showing up late and like literally several days late and hours late in the middle of restaurant rush, is like, dude. And when I tried to hire people, it wasn't working. See, here's one thing that I don't hear anybody talk about. If you build a business off of low prices, you can't afford to train or hire, because literally can't afford to. Oh yeah, will you come work for free for me for a month until you learn how to do the shit? No. Well, and then if you try to break them off a percentage, I haven't tried that yet. I would really like to try that. Money is what pays and lubricates everything. Money pays for everything. You ever notice when you get a really good paying job and you're making bank off that job? You're like, you're like, not stressed out, because you know the money is there, so you know that you can do everything right and take your time, not take your time in a bad way, in a good way, in a healthy way, and make sure everything is right. You feel great about it. When there's no money in the job and there's no wiggle room, there's no money for anything, you're miserable. That's really comes down to you, and you can't afford any mistakes. You can't afford to have somebody with you who's doing a crappy job where you got to keep sending them back to windows. But you can't get started in a business right off the bat with no previous experience in that service business, whatever it is, and then just think you're going to get in at top dollar and have all top clientele. It's not going to happen. So it's very stressful to dissolve the bottom as you expand the top, because you're breaking relationships. Hey man, here's where I'm really at, Mr. Business Owner, or Mr. Owner of the coffee shop where I do your windows every 2 weeks for $22, and I'm relying on that money, and you're relying on me. My business is growing, and I'm starting to make really more money, and so you don't need me anymore. You're too good for me, and I thought we were cool. I thought that we were cool. You come in, I give you free coffee, we got a good relationship, and you told me that you were committed, and now you're backing out and you're backpedaling. Now, and I would go home stressed out of my wits. And I'm trying to eat dinner with my wife at the table, and she's getting pissed, and we're fighting because my mind is on how I feel like I'm screwing over all these customers in this huge moral dilemma because I'm not showing up to clean their windows, and then I'm trying to call them, and then I'm not showing up again, and now my integrity's broken, and I feel like this big piece of shit. I had one guy, this Mexican restaurant. Awesome guy, awesome family. They run this restaurant, and I still eat there all the time. I love it. And now the guy finally sees and understands. But I wasn't showing up to clean his windows. I was lying to him. I didn't want to lie to him. I was really trying to make it. And then I would show up, and then they'd be closed, and I couldn't make it back for 3 weeks. And then I would show up in a restaurant rush, and he'd be like, "What the hell, man? You said you were going to be here, and you're not to be here. My windows..." I don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. But my windows are dirty. You said... I'm like... And I had to actually say, dude, I'm sorry, I can't do your windows anymore. If you want your windows clean, it's not going to be $12 anymore. It's going to be $85, but I could do it for $65. Because I actually sat down and did the math. It's going to be, he goes, $65? What do you mean $65? Like, he got pissed now that I'm disrespecting him. He felt like I was all out trying to rip him off and disrespect him, and this was all the way across the board, because I realized, oh my God, I have to charge at least $45 per hour for me, $35 per every guy. I need $100 an hour if I'm going to run this legitimate business, because you get to the point, you grow your business, and it gets more than you, and now you got real business expenses. You're sitting down in front of your accountant going, oh shit, I didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know? Okay, well, we can write all this off and we can figure all this out. But dude, you gotta get your shit together, and you gotta put all your money in your business account and make sure that you're paying for all this shit, because there's only so long that you can write all your shit off. Now, I'm not a tax accountant, attorney, advisor, CPA. And obviously the first few years in business, you can write shit off. And I think it's normal your first couple years to be scared when you're sitting in front of your accountant paying your taxes. Luckily, I was able to pay all my taxes and every year, and now I'm able to have enough money to have money left over after taxes. That's great. But it's because of all the stuff I learned from my mentors, and it was because I started really sitting down and doing the math and saying, hey, it doesn't matter if your customer and you are cool. It doesn't matter if you guys are like that, and if you're not making the amount of money that you need to make to run your business and feed your family, then you can't do that job for that price. Because in the end, when your truck breaks down and you can't even make it to the jobs because you can't even afford to fix your truck, you know what that guy's going to do? He's just going to go find the next guy to do it for fucking peanuts. That's all it really comes down to. So the friendship and the loyalty of you and your customer, I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. But you got to get paid. You got to get paid. And if you're not getting paid, then you can't do the job, period. So it's a very tough learning experience. You're going to feel morally like you're ripping people off now. Like, dude, I got to charge this guy this much just to lay his mulch or do his work. Like, that's insane. And I really still believe it. I think it's insane to charge somebody $100 a yard for mulch. But if you didn't grow up around business owners and you didn't grow up around, you grew up with a job, of course it's going to seem insane. And it's really actually not at all. It's not insane. I hope this really clarified some stuff for you. I could go on and make this a 20-minute video. But, yeah. The whole moral issue of that, basically, the moral of the story is I let all those customers go. If I saw any of those customers today, I'd shake their hand and say, listen, I was going through small business growing pains. I learned a lot. Sorry. And they'd be able to feel that was real. But at the time, I was probably the scummy window cleaner guy who stopped showing up just like everybody else. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up my videos. I'll put some links in the description below, and cool. Over and out.